So coming up now, we'll be inviting Esv Osilama Osilama to talk to us on how to create and consolidate lasting wealth through real estate. Let's put our hands together as we watch the introductory video.
As the group chairman and CEO of Esv Osilama Global Group and the pioneer MD, CEO of Esv Osilama Properties Limited UK, his leadership is well established across board. He previously served as Assistant National General Secretary and Council Member of Reading 2011 to 2015 and as a two-term National Publicity Secretary for PNPP. A pioneer fellow of the Chartered Institute of Project Managers of Nigeria. He was a governing council member for 2 tenures. He is also a fellow of the Certified Institute of Auctioneers of Nigeria. His contribution have earned him recognition as one of the outstanding 50 real estate CEOs in Nigeria by African Housing News 2020 and the Best Real Estate CEO by the Guardian Newspaper 2022. He holds an academic qualification including OND and HND in Estate Management and Valuation, a postgraduate diploma in Project Management from the Metropolitan School of Business, UK, and an MBA from Italy. A short real estate leadership course from the University of Westminster, UK. Beyond real estate, Osilama is an author of numerous books and an emerging media investor with platforms like Generation Next, Network TV, and GetShelter.com. He's the president of Esv Osilama Leadership Development Academy, an advisory board member for Shelters Conference International and IRECE, and the current vice president, North Central Zone of Reading, as well as the chairman board of trustees of Association of Practicing Professional Project Managers of Nigeria. He is a chairman of Chairmen. He's popularly known as the Lion of Real Estate in Africa. Also known for his forthrightness and community engagement, he hails from Edo State, Nigeria. He is married with children and enjoys writing, public speaking, and sports. Ladies and gentlemen, with a standing ovation and a round of applause, please make welcome to the stage Esv Osilama Emmanuel Osilama.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Are you excited to be here? Please take your seat. Let's be seated. Yes. One thing I can assure you, won't regret that you made it here. Something will shift. You won't live here the same way you came. So we'll be looking at creating lasting wealth and business through real estate. And by the end of this course, I will expect you to understand just few things. But those few things are things that will transform you, empower you, and change your life forever. You will understand how to engage with real estate. You forgot where is the system? Okay. Good. It will help you to gain a clear understanding of the business side of real estate. And it will also help you to develop into a smart and strategic real estate investor. These 2 things will stay with you. You'll be able to have a clear understanding of the business side of real estate. You know, everybody is doing real estate. Everybody you know is doing real estate. And it will also help you to develop into a smart and a strategic real estate investor. That means if you have been investing before, right now you begin to know how to do it well after this class. And on our lineup, we already have Dr. Olumide Emmanuel in the building. He's just seated behind you somewhere. So many years ago, I made this statement that all over the world, no matter the original source of their money, whether from business, technology, or oil, entertainment, or inheritance, about 81% of millionaires and billionaires, they consolidate and preserve their wealth through real estate investment. That means every wealthy person you see has a form of real estate investment that secure their wealth. And it has always been like that. They don't just keep all their money in the bank. they redirect most of their earnings and savings into tangible properties like land, commercial buildings, estate, and strategic real estate portfolios. And they are able to do this very, very well. So beyond just buying, the wealthy are always careful with proper due diligence. Due diligence means they search properly before they pay their money. They investigate. Due diligence means you must investigate a property before you put your money in the property. You know, at times, some property are so juicy that once you look at them and you hear the price, you just fall for them. And then when you fall for them, before you start checking whether they are good or not, and sometimes you lose your money in the process. But normally, if you are a big man, I want to assume everybody here is wealthy because you have come to this class. To be able to be in this class means you are a billionaire. Even if you have not entered the status of billionaire, you are going to become a billionaire. So if you can think it, you can become it. Right? So every wealthy person secure their wealth. How do you secure your wealth? Through real estate, through that due diligence. You investigate. You don't do the investigation by yourself. You don't walk into an organized sector and start to ask, I want to verify this land. You can do that, but it is preferable that you use a professional like a lawyer or an estate surveyor, or somebody that knows how it works. Because there are times that even the information you are going to check that you are asking for, they are correct. But you need to know the history of the property you are buying. That means a property can be genuine. I had an experience. I bought a property that is a CFO. It's genuine. The power of attorney was forged. So when I searched, I searched the original. When I searched, the original was genuine. So I had a receipt showing that this property was searched by me. I had that receipt with me. I took it to bank for a facility. The bank searched. They still had their own receipt showing that they searched before they released money. Then they gave me money. I got approval and I started building. While I was building, one day somebody just came with military uniform and a lot of people. They came with soldiers, all with uniform. I was not in Abuja. They came around life camp. They broke everything and scattered everything I was doing. Now I called and said, what was happening? Who is the person? They said it's a general. He's wearing uniform. I said, interesting. Can you give him the phone? I said, sir, I heard that you're a general. You're wearing uniform. I said, then it means you understand what you are doing. Why are you breaking the property? Why not find out? Let's go to Aegis. Let's confirm ownership. If you are the owner, I'll leave it for you. If it's my own, if it's my own, you leave it for me. He said he's sure that the land is his own. We got to Aegis. The next day, he came with DSS. He came prepared. Like this man is a young man. Once we are through with the search, I'll just carry him to teach him a lesson. By the time the bank brought the original that I have is genuine. The search that I have is genuine. General, where are your papers? He brought out photocopies of everything. Where is the original? I said it's in Lagos. The officer told me that he's making a mistake. They can't have two original for one land. It's not possible. So he said, okay, they should give him 1 week. He went straight to the police, reported me that I broke into his house in Lagos. I'm in Abuja here. I'm sure the history of the period he said I broke into his house, I was not even in the country. But where I'm going to, I don't want to bother with that story in detail, but where I'm going to is that you need the history of the land. Because if I had investigated to know the history of the land, I would not have paid for that land. Because the power of attorney was forged. In investigating the history of the land, you will discover that the person that gave me the power of attorney didn't have the process, the history of how he came about the land. What he had was a fake power of attorney. Because by the time the general took me to court and we were in court struggling for ownership, I now discovered that he bought from the original owner. So my own person that sold to me that claimed to have bought for the original owner has never met the original owner before. That's why you need to properly investigate. It will help you. This will also show you that real estate is not just about buying properties. It's about wealth preservation. Wealth preservation. Say with me, wealth preservation. Wealth security. And generational transfer. So real estate is also about wealth preservation, wealth security, and generational transfer. I want that to sink into your head and remain in your mind. It's about wealth preservation. That is, when you go into real estate with your money, it's beyond just buying a property. It's about wealth preservation, wealth security. That's securing your money and generational transfer. is wealth? As we begin to go into this class properly, what is wealth? Wealth is not about how much money you earn monthly. It is about the asset you own that keeps generating value and income even when you are asleep. That's what wealth is. Asset, anything that puts money, asset is anything that puts money in your pocket. Like rental, like shares, like rental properties, like shares, functional business. What are liabilities? Liabilities, anything that takes money out of your pocket, like luxury car, debt fueled by lifestyle. Debt fueled lifestyle is when you live above what you have. When you borrow money to fake your appearance, when you want to create an impression that are unnecessary, that's a debt fueled lifestyle. It will push you into trouble. You will definitely not come out of it. True wealth is measured by how long you can live comfortably if you stop working today. So I have a question for you. If you stop working today, how many months, how many years, and how many days can you survive without doing anything? That's what determines whether you are wealthy or not. So example, a civil servant earning 1 million naira monthly, but with no investment, is cash rich. So it would be cash rich, but not wealthy. One has become a landlord. They were earning the same money. They had access to the same money, but their expenditure, they spent differently. So at the end of the day, one became stranded, while the other one became a landlord. And as a landlord, it means he dictates the pace. So as a landlord, you can determine not to help your friend. And if you decide to help him, how will you pay your bills? So that's where the economic sense will come in. If you stop working today, that's the question I just asked. How long can your assets sustain you in months, in years, or lifetime? Does anybody here have that kind? Do you want to answer me? Somebody want to answer me? Do you have that kind of asset that can keep you running when you stop working? Somebody want to say something? I want us to be interactive. Don't worry, you get there. You will get there. I can assure you will get there. Yes, you will get there. You will get there. So what is not income? It is sustainable income producing asset. Sustainable income producing asset. That's what wealth is, not just income. Income, that's an asset, like a property that keeps giving you money continuously. That's what wealth is. So, tangible assets with lasting value, they generate rental income. They appreciate over time. They are allowed to be used as leverage. That means you can use them as collateral to borrow money. That's what I mean by use as leverage for loans and etc. Provides diversification and inflation protection. That means if you have enough investment, on real estate, right now, if you have a property here right now, let me say you have a property in area 1 bedroom flat or 2 bedroom flat that is worth 50 million, for instance, and there's recession today, the value of your property, instead of it to go down, will appreciate. So the new value of your money that you invested at 50 million will become 100 million. If you decide to sell the property, so the real estate is an edge against inflation. It protects your money. When you put your money in real estate, it protects your money once the property is secured. That's what it means. Types of tangible assets in real estate. You have residential. You know all this. You have commercial, you have industrial, you have land, and you have REIT. REIT simply means real estate investment trust. That's when people, maybe they want to build commercial property and they don't have funds. So they go to SEC, register a REIT, get a license to collect money from the public. That's what REIT is. So they build the property, either they sell or maybe the investors get a percentage share. Where if they don't sell, that means annually investors will be getting money. So they'll have a moratorium period where you don't get anything first. Then maybe after 3 years, when the product is delivered, you will now begin to earn. As they earn income from the rent, they pay you dividends. Something like that. So simply put, this is putting money into property to grow it and earn steady income that multiply with time. So real estate investment is the act of buying, owning, managing, or selling property with the aim of generating income or building wealth over time. Unlike personal home ownership, it focuses on the profit through rental income, property appreciation, or both. Why is real estate a proven path to lasting wealth? One, it is tangible. That means you can touch it. You can touch a house. You can walk around it. You can appreciate it. You can invest. You can inspect it. You can look at the finish. You can look at the structural design of a house. You can look at the structural quality of a house, if it is safe to put your money or not. You can look at some structural design of a house and say this house will not last. After some time, it will collapse. It appreciates with time. Real estate increase in value over time. Like the example I just gave you. It generates cash flow. Properties generate renters and lease income. It is a good leverage. That means you can rely on it to do a lot of things. You can use other people's money, OPM, like bank loans or investment money to acquire property strategically. This can be explained in details. Let me just give you a simple example how you use people's money. If you have an investment and you have been able to, like, for instance, off-plan sales, you want to build terraces, maybe 5-unit terraces. You have already got your approval. You have everything. You are ready to do it, but you don't have money. If you have your designs and you have your 3Ds very attractive, you can push them into the market and call it off-plan sales, where people buy before you build. So they'll pay in installment. But the only thing with off-plan sales is that the person, the anchor of that project, must be a disciplined person. Because when you are trading with other people's money, once they put the money in your hands, it looks like the money belongs to you because the liquid will be much in your account. You will see the money. For instance, if you say at DPC level, they should give you like 10 million. And for the 5 units, you have like 50 million already in your account. If you don't discipline yourself and pretend that the money is not your own, you will run into trouble. Because as you begin to spend the money, you will see that I have visa, American visa. Let me just go and do 3 days in America and come back. I can buy ticket. By the time you get to America, some things that are not in your plan will come up. And you see yourself wanting to stay in Marriott instead of you to stay in a small hotel. You want to stay in a 5-star hotel. This were not in your plan. But the money is in your account. You will even be using your phone to move money from the account that you are not supposed to access to your card account and begin to spend the money lavishly. By the time you get back to Nigeria, you discover that you have run into trouble. Because remember, you are working with, but you will run into trouble. So other people's money, you need to be disciplined. It's one of the easiest way to go into real estate. If you understand the dynamics of using other people's money, it's very interesting and it can help you to grow. But you must be disciplined. You should be able to separate your personal expenses from your business money. With that kind of arrangement, if you have good accounting system, you are on salary. In our firm, me, I've been on salary for as old as the firm is. That means almost 24 years I've been on salary. There's a separate accounting system. So if you are into real estate or you want to go into real estate, you must have a separate accounting system. Separate the accounting system from your personal system, from your personal expenditures. That means you will place yourself on salaries. Then the company will also have interest money. Not that when they need money for anything, you just dip money to the account and do. You will spend other people's money. And that can cause you problem. Real estate also serves as inflation edge. I've explained that. As the economy grows, that means even when there's inflation, a major recession in the economy, instead of your rent to go down, for instance now, within the last 2 years of this administration, this present administration in Nigeria, the rent that was 1 million is now 2 million. Some are now 3 million, some are 8 million, some are 10 million. So that's what it means. As at the time the landlords were building their houses, their projection were like 500,000, 1 million for the rent. But by the time the economy became a little bit complicated, not very bad, but somehow bad, the value of the rent went up. So every landlord now will still be happy going to the bank, smiling to the bank. None of them will be crying. But every tenant will be crying because it's affecting you. So you can see the thing is transferred to you. So it serves as inflation edge. And as the economy grows, the rent and land value, they rise, thereby protecting your wealth. So if you have money in real estate, no matter the economy, you will still be going up. Your finances will be appreciating. Example, if you remember, Gusape sold for as low as 500,000 naira. Gusape, the same Gusape. Those of us that are in Abuja, if you remember, as low as 500,000 naira initially in Abuja, and Lekki, some of them were as low as 200,000, 300,000, 2 million. In the 80s, where Gusape was around 2,000. Now, all of them are selling for hundreds of millions. 1,000 square meter in Gusape that some people bought for 2 million naira is 1 billion now. The same Gusape. So in cities like London, Dubai, and New York, families that bought 1 or 2 properties decades ago, during some recessions, now control generational wealth. They have become very wealthy. So why do you think real estate has produced more millionaires than oil, tech, and others, in other businesses? Who can help me? Why do you think real estate has produced more millionaires? Can somebody help me? I want us to be interactive.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. To my own knowledge about real estate, it has produced more millionaires than oil, tech, and other businessmen, because I would say it is the primary or the bedrock that all other investment springs up from. For instance, if I want to go to tech and I have a knowledge about fintech and I don't have the resources to go into fintech, now if I have the knowledge of real estate with little work, like, tech is very, very arduous when it comes to, developing the program, the structure, turning it to become a system. But for real estate, if I am an agent, for example, now, it's just for me to sit up, try as much as possible to get the property that is being put into my possession, or that I want to sell for somebody, get the money and put it into tech.
Thank you.
Also, the risk involved in real estate is very, very, very minimal compared to other.
Thank you very much. We'll take more. But be brief. Can you make it 30 seconds, maximum 1 minute?
Right, so good morning all. My name is Esv Osilama Osilama. All right, so a major reason I believe that real estate has produced more millionaires than in oil, tech, and other business, because every business is done on land. The oil business is done on land. Tech business owners and other businesses are run on land. So if, as a oil business merchant, the business of oil fails, the land remains, then I can transfer the land to other generations. So that way, my oil business is secured because my real estate is secured. And every other business I do is equally secure because I have first secured the estate upon which those businesses are running. Thank you.
1 minute. Not more than 1 minute, please.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Brahma Abdulrazak. I feel the reason why real estate have produced more billionaires or more millionaires is because it can store value. It keeps value and store value. So it does not change over time. As it does not depreciate over time, rather it appreciates. It stores that value for you.
Okay.
I think the reason is because real estate is scarce and it's no longer being created. It's limited.
I will stop at you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
I think the reason why real estate have produced lots of billionaires than other sectors is because real estate is the number one need of man, because every man needs shelter. You need where to put your head in, and you need where to put your head in before you can even think of
Thank you very much.
And then the flexibility also.
Thank you very much. It's more than enough. We have had more than enough, but let's just listen to her.
Okay.
She's the only lady in their midst.
Oh, wow.
Okay, yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
Just like as you said, that is a physical asset. So it appreciates over time. And that's why we can actually generate millionaires in real estate?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I will say that all of you tried, but I take the first person. He was more elaborate and more detailed. He has minimal risk. Because it has minimal risk, easily go into it. You will be very careful if you want to go into crude oil or any kind of oil business, even tech. It's complicated. The process, you can be pursuing it for the next 6 months, 1 year. You have not gotten there. You have gotten everything right. You are still looking for how to get the payment gateway so that people can pay through online and it will still not work. And after everything, you will not get the numbers as it has to do with followers and generate leads. So everything can still crash. But in real estate, you can easily predict almost everything. So everybody got it right. So why do you think, okay, that was what where we stopped. So real estate is safe. That's one of the reasons. That's what you said. It has minimal risk, reliable, and it's a generational wealth building tool all over the world. So overview of global and local real estate market. Global trends, urbanization, people moving from villages to cities. That's what urbanization is. One of the reasons why we have scarcity of houses in cities like Abuja. Everybody wants to come to Abuja. If you go to the village now, if you live in Abuja and you go to the village to show off in December, by the time you are coming back, those little activities you did in the village is going to bring nothing less than 10 new persons to Abuja. They won't say anything to you, but they'll find their way to Abuja because they want to be like you. That's the problem. The same thing in Lagos. So these two cities and Kano, they are oversaturated because everybody wants to come to Kano to make money. Everybody wants to come to Lagos to make money. Urbanization, smart homes, and technology-driven housing. These are the things you see in the global market. Demand for sustainable and eco-friendly homes. These are the things that are in trend in global market. While rising need for affordable housing worldwide. I'd like to just dwell on this a little bit. There's a need now because of the scarcity of houses. There's a need for affordable housing. Most people who are making money, they don't have enough money to get their own homes. And until you own a home, you have not started life. Yes, because you keep turning around a circle until you own a home. But look at local perspective. Nigeria and Africa in view. Government infrastructure projects boost and value. So when government extend their infrastructural development to local areas, that tend to allow people to remain. And as a result, add value to those locations. Then urban migration creates housing shortage and investment opportunity. That's the one I just mentioned. When people migrate from local areas into urban areas, it causes shortage of houses. The landlord that was allowing you to pay twice before will say no. Because there's somebody waiting in the corner that want to pay 3 million once. You are begging, let me drop 2 million. In the next 2 months, I will give you the balance 1 million. Landlord say, no, move out of my house. Because he has like 2 or 3 persons waiting that will pay at once. Challenges. One of the challenges in local, in the local, like in Nigerian setting, global system doesn't have that, is weak legal system. Land dispute and financial limitations. Like the example I cited. There's what is called the land administration and land registration system. It's very poor in Nigeria. It's not unified. It's not unified means it's not integrated. It's not one. So if you're in Kano, what you see in Kano is completely different from what you see in Lagos. It's different from what you see in Abuja. In fact, the measurement is not the same. In Lagos, you measure acres. In Abuja, you are measuring hectares. Did you see the difference? So 4,000 square meters in Abuja is 1 acre in Lagos. You see the difference? That's measurement. The registry is completely disrupted. The information's in one registry. It's not in another registry. If you go to, well, I mentioned Africa, but if you go to countries like Kigali in Africa, in Rwanda, you can actually do a due diligence on your property, on the property you're interested in from your phone. You download the app. Just impute the number. It will take you to the property, and you can confirm the owner. You will see the history, who bought it before, who it was sold to. We don't have anything like that in Nigeria. In fact, it's even the civil servant that will help you to make sure that you fall into trouble. But I know we will get there. We will get there. So overview of global and local real estate market. Comparison, looking at the two of them. Mature market, like if you go to mature markets like US, UK, Dubai, they have a strong legal framework and financial options. If the same thing, emerging markets like Africa, in Africa, I mean, like Nigeria, Kenya, Rwanda, South Africa, India, faster growth potential, but with higher risk. In the last few months, a lot of people in Abuja and Lagos that are estate investors have been going through a lot of challenges. I may not be able to put them exactly the way they are because this is a public forum. But it has a lot to do with the legal framework, where you will buy a property, you're already occupying the property, but because you bought it, maybe from the local government who had right to allocate property as at that time, a superior authority will come, revoke the property, the same property, reallocate the property to another person, and collect money. Then you lose the property. Your investment is gone. Your money gone. Both in Lagos, both in Abuja. It has a lot to do with the legal system, the framework. Even though these things are on ground, they are not properly executed. There are a lot of loopholes that were created deliberately so that people can fall victim. Example, if you go to Dubai, for instance, Dubai was transformed from a desert to a global hub within 20 years through strategic real estate investment. The major solution to our problem is consequence for indiscipline. Once there can be consequence for indiscipline, a lot of things will change. People will begin to behave well. If you are sure that if you misbehave, if you create a problem, create a loophole, and somebody fall into a trap, by the time they are investigating, it's because of the loophole. You are arrested and tried. Nobody will want to do that again. You are sent to jail. But it's a system that was designed to fail. I'm sorry. Lucky Free Trade Zone and Dangote Refinery push massive appreciation in land values in the entire Lagos, especially in the island. Even in the mainland, my friends are buying 1,000 square meter, 2,000 square meter for 1 billion. But everything started because of the Lekki Free Trade Zone, where Dangote went to build refinery. And there's now a plan to introduce another airport there. So because of infrastructural development, real estate can appreciate. For instance, Gusape in Abuja rose in value due to government massive infrastructural investment in that area, which offers greater opportunity for investors, mature market or emerging market. I'm now asking a question. Which of these markets offer a greater opportunity for investors? Is it matured market? Mature market are like America, Dubai, and all that. Or emerging market like what you have in Africa? You want to answer? Emerging market. Why? Give him the mic. Please, straight to the point. Him. Yes. Switch it on.
Market is transforming to be in the same pedestal with the mature market. The high return, the investment returns is very, very high, and you can easily key into that emerging market.
Thank you very much. You want to say something? Please give him the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. My name is Olarinde Owoniyi.
Yeah, welcome.
I had a different line of thought.
Please go ahead.
Matured markets are safer. And also they give high return on investment. Why? If you look around some certain areas in Abuja now, some buildings are being demolished. Take Sheriff Plaza, for example. The new Sheriff Plaza came up on a matured market environment. And the bigger plaza that came in with underground car park sold for higher return. So if you look at the dynamics, matured markets to gives you high return on investment. Changes might come in emerging market. The government might try to put their act in orders. Land will be revoked. There are risks in emerging markets. Thank you.
Clap for him. Both of you were right, but he's much more correct. Thank you very much. Because matured market, there are no risk. You are safe. So people, even if you know as a real estate person, most of the time you don't have the money in your pocket. So your experience attracts the money. So if you want to talk to your investors, including your banks, they are safer to do business in matured market than emerging market. But emerging market has more opportunities. And it's likely to attract more money, but not safe havens. Because if it's not safe, because once government policy change, you know, a land that has document, government can come and say for overriding public interest, like what is happening on the Lagos Coastal Highway now. Most of those lands there, they have, for instance, Landmark. Landmark has document. Landmark has approval. Landmark spent about $70 million to buy the land. Spent about 30-something billion to pay tax in 1 year. So they have documents, they have everything, but the coastal highway came and they demolished because it's an emerging market. You understand that? Because if it's a matured market, what they would have done in that instance is to buy the property and then redesign it and not create road. They can't come and demolish it because it's an emerging market. They are still planning that area. So I agree with you 100%. The screen. So understanding both global and local market dynamics help you to spot early opportunities and reduce risk in your real estate journey. So mindset of wealthy real estate investors, how they think. One, they think long term. Wealthy investors look at decades, not quick flips. That means a wealthy real estate investor, if he's putting his money down here, we'll be looking at 5-10 years time. What will happen to this place? We will not be looking at 24 hours or 20 in 2 weeks time or in 6 months time. What will happen? They think long term. They think far. They project possibilities of government coming to build infrastructure in an empty area. That's how they become wealthy. 2, they are patient and persistent. They are patient and persistent. Real estate requires time to appreciate. And 3, opportunity in downtown. They buy when others are afraid. They buy when others are afraid. For example, during recession, that's when wealthy people buy properties. When everybody is afraid, they don't want to buy. That's when wealthy people take the risk and buy properties. 4, networking and mentorship. They learn from others, just like you are in this room this morning. You are here to learn, not because you don't have information. You want to hear something new. Some of you, it's just one word you need within these 3 days that will just rewire your mind, and the next thing you are good. They learn from others. They build relationship, and they stay informed. Wealthy people. So example, for instance, Warren Buffett, he has a rule. It's a business rule that he used in all his business. He said, be fearful when others are greedy. Be fearful when others are greedy. And be greedy when others are fearful. Be greedy when others are fearful. Be fearful when others are greedy. Do you understand that? Good. Be fearful when others are greedy means when the opportunities are everywhere and it's juicy and it's looking like let's jump at it. Like what is happening in Abuja right now. Calm down and be calculative. Don't jump at everything. Be careful. One of the things happening in town now, let me just say that, where they will revoke somebody's land and give it to another person. It's not safe. It's not safe. But it's juicy. Because what they are revoking is very expensive, lucrative. So if you buy it and pay some money, you can easily sell it and make more profit. The risk involved is that the person may go to court, and it depends on the history behind the land, and recover his land back. What happens to your money? There are clauses in all those things that they are doing. The people that are selling all those things, they are lawyers, they are smart, they know what they are doing. They have introduced some clauses there. And you can read it for decades and not find simple clauses there. But by the time you get to that point, when you will see that they knew what they were doing. You are the one that fell into their trap. But they have collected your money and no refund. That's what it means. Then be greedy when others are fearful. When it looks like the situation is dicey, you need to be careful. Study it very well. That's the best time to invest. Somebody said the best time to do business is when blood is flowing on the street. When there is war in a market, that's the best time to do business. When the market is looking crazy, that's the best time to settle and observe the market. It doesn't mean you should jump at anything, at everything. Settle down and watch very well and take advantage of opportunities. That's what it means. So in real estate, why it remains the safest is that you need to do your proper due diligence. Like I said, check the history. If you can check the history, after you have gone to search and you are satisfied, who was the first person that they allocated the land to? Why did he sell it? And all these people that the land was given to, why did they not register at the agency? Why is it that they have been selling from one hand to another? So me that I want to buy now, I would like to meet the first allotee. Since the person that bought from him did not register, I want him to sign my own power of attorney so I can register it. You have to do all this. It will save you from a lot of trouble. Because if you are buying from the sixth person, for instance, and there's no trace, because once you buy a landed property that was not allocated to you, and you did not register it, it's still not your own. Yes, it's still not your own. It is your own. You can trade with it, but you must register your interest before a property becomes your own. You must register your interest. It is very important that you register your interest in the government agency. If you are in Abuja, you must go to Aegis and register your interest. Until you register your interest, even if it's in Lagos, it's a family agreement, you must register your interest. Until you register your interest, the land is still not 100% your own. Because what you originally own in a property is your interest. When they give you CFO, it's your interest. It's your interest in the land that is that CFO. It's just a certificate or a receipt to show your interest in the land, that you have a right to use this land. It's not more than that. So once it is not registered, it's risky. You can lose it if anything goes wrong. But once you have registered your interest, then your interest is now recognized in the agency. If it's Lagos, Alausa, your interest is now in the registry. So when people go to search, they will find your name there. If it's Abuja, it will be FCDA, Aegis. When they go to Aegis to search that property, when they put in the particulars, it will pop up your name. But until you register your interest, it's not 100% your own. That's what it means. In the US, many who bought properties during the 2008 recession became billionaires. They all became billionaires. So this period now is almost a recession period in Nigeria. If you take advantage of it, you too can become a billionaire tomorrow. So do you currently approach investment with a short-term or long-term mindset? This is a question. Do you approach investment with a short-term or long-term mindset? If there's anybody that is already investing here, do you do them because you want to turn over your money within 12 months, or you are looking at 10 years, 20 years plan? Anybody that want to respond? Please give him the mic.
Good morning, all.
You're welcome.
Sometimes, as a developer, you look at both the short term and the long term. Short term in the sense that you need to sell and recover your money and move to the next project. And then long term, you have to keep 1 or 2 or 3 units for yourself for long term.
Clap for him. So where the investors don't rush. They don't rush. They build patiently, strategically, and generationally. That means inside their mind, they take it gradually. They are not in haste. They don't jump at every opportunity. They settle down, investigate the opportunity before they jump into it. So true wealth is in asset, not in income. So if you don't have asset yet, you are just starting. Market knowledge makes you a wise, low-risk investor. So the more knowledge you have in the market, the lower your risk will be. The wealthy invest with patience, vision, and legacy in mind, not dynasty. Dynasty is when you are investing to show off for prestige. But if you are investing to consolidate your wealth, you may not be a real estate practitioner, but you make money from what you do. So once you put that money into real estate, it's supposed to help you multiply it over time. So these are the things you have in mind. That the word you invest with patience. Patience. It must be the key. Patience. Vision. Legacy in mind, not dynasty. No, you are not investing because you want to show the world. You are investing because you want to grow your money. You want your money to become so thick. Imagine a property you bought for 2 million. I remember that we bought Gaines Village terraces for 2 million. But I don't know how much they are selling them now. During COSA, from FHA, it was 2 million. But I don't know how much they are selling them now. It's definitely not 100 million. You see what I mean? So thank you very much. So I'd like to take questions. I'd like to take questions. Questions?
Thank you very much once again for this awesome privilege. My name is Wealth JP, aka Osilama's boy. So yeah, I have a question, sir. What do you do in a place where the first allottee is dead?
Is dead?
Is dead, yes. And then there's another incident I had when the allottee discovered that this property has appreciated exponentially in value, and we needed this first allottee to sign the document. It was a tug of war. We had to pay through our nose to get this done. So what do you do in the place where the first allottee then cannot be found, and then you need to have this document registered? Thank you.
This is a straightforward answer. The first allottee is not the person selling to you now because he's dead. So he has sold the property to another person. But the person did not register his interest. That's what it means. So if the person had registered his interest, there will be no need to go back to the first allottee. You will now, when you go to the system, it will now pop up the name of the new buyer who has registered his interest. So as long as nobody has registered interest, that's the only reason why you have to go back to the first allottee. Then you have to pay the new money once they come up with money, the family. If the first allottee is dead, then he's supposed to have a will. So you have to reach out to the people who are in custody of his will. So in his estate to understand who has the right to sell. That's what to do. You have to find out who has the right to sell his property. Then you have to ask for his death certificate. Once you have the letter of administration and death certificate, it will show who has power to sell. There must be somebody, the person that has right to hold the letter of administration, the death certificate, is the person that has the right to sell. And sometimes the property are willed to different persons. Like the one in Metama can be given to the first son. The one in Garki is given to the last son. So if it is in the will like that, then it's only the last son that will have power to sell. So that's what it is. Then the person that sells, once the person signs, and there's a death certificate attached, you can register it. That's how it is. Any other question? Yes?
Sorry, with regards to this registration you're talking about, so if you have like 4th, 5th, 6th, and maybe along the line somebody misses it, maybe the middle person misses, and you now want to register, so you have to trace down to the last person.
The person that registered, if nobody has ever registered, you have to go back to the last person now. The person that is recognized in the system, there's a database that is showing that this land belongs to plot 1 on Lagos Street belongs to Mr. Osilama in the system. Now Mr. Osilama sold to A sold to B sold to C, and until he got to like 7 persons. But in the system, it's still showing that the land belongs to Mr. Osilama. So you have to, for you to be able to submit it, you have to get Mr. Osilama to sign your document. If not, you'll be stranded. And if Mr. Osilama is dead, but not this Osilama, then the person that has the right to sell that property should sign for you. As long as there's a document attached, like the death certificate or the letter of administration, it will be accepted. Any other question? Okay, thank you very much.
Please put your hands together for him.